Hi, everyone. This is Ben Dean, and welcome to our call today. We are going to be talking with Carol Solomon and with some of her colleagues and students about the classes she teaches on health and wellness coaching. Carol is a psychologist, an ICF Master Certified Coach, founding faculty of the MentorCoach Health and Wellness Coach Certification Program. She has been a star member of the MentorCoach trainer team since, I'm guessing at this, Carol, since 2005. That may not be quite right, but that's close. She currently teaches 4 MentorCoach master classes, including Living and Coaching the Good Life, It's All About You, and Living and Coaching the Good Life, You and Your Clients. Wellness coaching has been the center of her coaching practice since she began in 2001. She has spent many years teaching both in person and virtually, and is thrilled to again be combining 2 of her loves, coaching and health and wellness. She's a remarkable teacher. I've seen evidence of that year after year after year when she gets rave touching evaluations from her students. And so we're very glad that Carol's part of our faculty. So Carol, welcome to the call.
Thank you. And I just want to introduce my partner in crime, Josh Zimmerman. Most of you know him. He provides a lot of technical support and moral support and just general camaraderie. I think all the students will probably agree that the classes are better because of Josh and because of Josh and I together. It's something we've kind of worked on and developed over a couple of years now. And the class just wouldn't be the same without him. So everything runs smoothly, and he's bailed us out a number of times on technical issues, but it's just always great to have him with us.
Okay, and Carol, the 2 health and wellness master classes that you teach, what are they and how do they dovetail together? Like, what do you cover in the fall class and what do you cover in the spring class?
So the fall class is called Living and Coaching the Good Life, It's All About You. And that class has 2 general tasks. One is to learn the framework, the principles and the models of health and wellness coaching, and kind of seeing where you are in your own journey. And the second task is to create your own health and wellness plan. So we talk about how to choose your focus, how to make a vision, how to set goals, how to hold yourself accountable in small groups for the duration of the class. And so people are actually making their own health and wellness plans and working them throughout the class. So we talk about what gets in the way of good intentions and how to deal with self-sabotage and manage stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. So we're giving you the theoretical background and the practical experience of creating your own wellness plan and getting to implement the plan right during the class so that you can see what gets in the way and also have the experience of what you're asking your clients to do. And then in the January class, which is called You and Your Clients, that is the class that generally starts in January. It's about going deeper with clients. So each class is a special topic where you can develop practical skills and expertise to go deeper with your clients. So we talk about how clients make transformational change and the coach's role in the change process. And we talk about health beliefs and mindsets and how clients' behavior is shaped by their beliefs, how to cultivate the mindset that will help clients look beyond the negative situation to something that will bring meaning, purpose, and hope. And we embrace the psychology of possibility, which says we don't know what's possible, so we keep an open mind. So when we talk about the particularly challenging topics like weight loss and overcoming self-sabotage and how to make changes stick, because there's nothing more frustrating than making a change and then giving it all back by sabotaging yourself.
Okay, and Carol, why are these classes important to you personally?
I've always been interested in health and wellness. I had a specialty in helping people lose weight without dieting before I started teaching, really from the very beginning of my coaching career. So it's been a passion of mine for a very long time. And I've had my own share of wellness challenges. So I'm, coming at it from both sides. I much prefer the provider side of the health and wellness continuum, but with my background in psychology, it was kind of a natural fit for me to teach. So I'm coming from the psychological aspects of health and wellness. And because most people know what to do, they know what they need to do, they know what the steps are, and it's the doing it that's the problem. So coaches
So
can help
is it
people.
possible if I took your class, I might get off the dime about losing weight?
It's very possible. And some of the students have actually done that during the fall class. And actually, we've had some incredible results just working their own health and wellness plans.
Okay, let me take a minute and go around and ask everybody here to introduce themselves, and then we'll ask some questions of the students as well as Josh and Carol. So if you guys could just say your name, where you're from, and what your current focus is in terms of coaching. Like, what's the most exciting part of coaching for you? So Tammy, could you go first?
Sure. I'm Tammy Williams, and I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I am a life coach and parent coach, and I coach parents particularly around struggles that they may be having with parenting itself, but also self-care. And the self-care piece is, I don't want to say my favorite piece, but it's really important to me because I see how parents are a group of caregivers, if you will, who often neglect their self-care, and how important it is, not just for themselves, but also in regards to good parenting. So.
Okay, thanks. Leslie, could you go next?
Yeah, hi. I'm from San Jose, California, and I'm doing kind of a combo of career coaching as well as coaching current leaders or those aspiring to be leaders, and life coaching in general. And I'd say kind of my favorite part of all of it is the health and wellness piece, which is really why I came to Mentor Coach. It was part of it because there was the ICF certification as well as the health and wellness component. And kind of like Tammy, like I really like, when I can hear people struggling with their own self-care, not that I like that they're struggling, but that's what I really like to support them on, improving that for themselves.
Okay, and Leslie is also one of the hardest working athletes we've got in Mentor Coach. So working out twice a day sometimes. Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
And Don, you may do that as well. I don't know. I don't, but could you go next?
We can say that I work out twice a day if you'd like. But I'm getting there. That's a goal. Leslie, I want to be like you when I grow up. My name is Dawn, and I'm down the road from Tammy in Culpeper, Virginia. And I am working with clients in health and wellness, but it's been interesting with the pandemic. Wellness has been a really critical part of that and has included much more around spirituality with clients that I'm seeing, and also a lot of issues with diversity and sort of cultural factors that seem to be more in conversation for people. They're actually being able to talk about some things that maybe they hadn't been able to put words to before. So it's been a very interesting time, and it's exciting because there's a chance to do new things in a different way. So I'm enjoying where I am right now.
Okay, thanks, Don. We're glad you're with us. And Garita, could you go next?
Sure. My name is Garita, and I'm from the Houston, Texas area. And I'm coming at the health and wellness coaching from the perspective of a Chinese medicine practitioner, Oriental medicine practitioner. which I've done for 15 years. And I love the spiritual components that I find as a part of it. Was fascinated with the way Carol taught the class and brought in some energetic components with the EFT tapping. I'm very dedicated to patient education. I was a teacher for many, many years before I got into Chinese medicine. So it's important for me to help people see how they can really help themselves and improve their own health and have a plan forward with that. And I found that the coaching training and the programs, especially in health and wellness and positive psychology, I feel have put me in a better position to help more people as an outreach.
Okay, thanks.
And I especially loved Carol's classes.
Right. Okay, great. Sarisha, could you go next?
Yes. Hi, I go by Shri. I am from Dallas, Texas, and I basically am in IT profession for about 20 years now, and I still am. But due to a lot of personal journey, I've been always fascinated about what coaching can do, and that's how I ended up with Mentor Coach. And I just think about it, I just realized it's been over 1.5 years or more of my journey with Mentor Coach, and it's been phenomenal. And health and well, to me, I think why coaching is so important is the self-care piece of it really started with me. And I self-coached myself to be a better person in, many, many different dimensions. And I think when you can see and experience that with yourself, you know what it can do to others. And I think what mentor coaches really had been helping, especially the Carol's class that I've taken, what it did is, what exactly would you be doing to, I was able to see that, witness that, and be that. And I think taking that to the next level and then helping many others around us, and then eventually, hopefully, if the journey expands, and if I'm able to be part of that health and wellness coaching journey, I can really see the potential in making a big change. So personally, the tapping techniques, the EFT techniques that she taught, a lot of other things, have extremely been helpful. So it's been a phenomenal journey.
Okay, well, I'm so glad you're with us, and I will remember to call you Sri. So I'll work on that. Let me just ask this question. I saw the video of the last class from last spring when everybody in the class was crying and Carol was crying. I guess one of the questions I'd ask, if anybody would care to share on this, is what makes Carol's classes so meaningful for you? I can call on names if that would help. You want to go, Sri?
Yes, please. I think that class had given us an opportunity to melt something in us that was blocking us from being us 100%. That's how I look at it. And I think we were all together. We were able to resonate, and with what she was sharing, with what we were experiencing. We were experiencing the same thing in the same moment, and being virtual. I understand if it's physically you're connected. I mean, you're there in one place in a classroom, but being virtual from distant parts of the country or maybe even the world, and still being able to feel that human connection and recognizing a parts of you, I think that really was the most effective moment for me.
Okay, anybody else that was in the class last spring care to share on? Dawn, you want to go next?
Sure. And I have to say, I appreciate the chance to kind of recall all of this, because it brings back again those feelings. For me, what made the difference very early in the class was Carol sharing her personal challenges and really acknowledging that this applies not only to us, but to her as well. And to me, that just, as Shri described, just melted something for me that allowed me to feel comfortable with her and with other members of the class. And then from there, it was Carol's response to people's experiences. The way that she responded to people was so empathic, but yet very with clear boundaries and support. And it was clear what our roles were and what she expected of us as participants of that class. Like, it just elevated the level right away of how we were going to function in that class. And I think it really drove home to me how serious the job of coaching is, and how much that can happen in a room with, one person or several people at one time, and the emotionality and how intimate it can be. It just made me really take it so seriously, and it really made me want to drink up every single thing that I could do, everything that I could do in that class and get from it. And then I think the other piece was the groups, being able to connect with my group. That absolutely changed my life. Like, I opened up to people in that group in a way that I've never done with a class. I mean, I've
These
never
are
done
small
that.
groups?
These were small groups. It was 4 people in my group. And I mean, I came late to the class, and it was just amazing what a difference that made. And they were excellent coaches. Like, I don't know where they came from, but man, these are people who, whether in the early stages of their mentor coach journey or towards the end, I mean, really amazing coaches. And I think it came from the model that Carol presented in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Josh, let me ask you, Josh is one of the most impressive members of the mentor coach trainer team, and he's actually calling us right now from Dubai, where he goes on the weekends. He has an apartment there in Dubai. Josh, what you've observed Carol teach a number of times, and you partner with her in these classes. What is it about these classes that is so powerful for people?
Well, Carol was my foundations teacher. And that was the first time that I got to experience Carol being my teacher. And then being able to, I couldn't get enough. And that was when it was a 31-week class. And so I wanted to take another one. And what Carol has an amazing ability to do, other than laugh at my jokes, which are horrible, and she can still laugh at them, that's really why I took the classes, because she would laugh at my jokes then. That's really the only reason.
It's good to have one person in your life.
Just one.
Your jokes.
Just one. And the thing is, I paid for it, right? I paid for the class just to have Carol laugh. No, Carol has this unbelievable ability to bring a group of people together from all walks of life, from around the world. And through how she teaches, weave together commonalities that by the end of the class, you're so connected to each other by different experiences that she has brought through her stories and teaching, that you become a better coach and a better person at each week that you go along. And it is, we're so lucky that we're able to record these because I cannot tell you the amount of times that people have interrupted Carol to say, hey, can you stop? Can you say that again? And Carol, wait, what did I just say? So if we could have a DVR and pause her and rewind, which now we do because it's recorded, she's like this little, stealth bomber of truth bombs, or, and wise nuggets that she just sort of quietly just drops. And then, you don't know when they're going to explode, but then bam, You're like, what just happened? And so she has this amazing ability to do that. So it's such an honor not only to learn from her and have her as my mentor, but also be there to help facilitate other students getting to experience what I got to experience, and doing everything I can to clear out any technical glitches or anything that would get in the way of Carol being able to do what she does, which is nothing short of magic.
And I've been looking for some quotes about Carol for the website. So can I put you down for she's like a little stealth bomber? Did I get that right?
Yeah, she is. I mean, what kind of an airplane would she be? She would be a little stealth bomber. She's quiet. Okay. She's little. You can't really tell where she's coming, but she's dead. She'll come in and strike with a powerful question, and bam, you're on your side.
Okay.
On what just happened.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, now people watching this video or listening to it will kind of assume that I would say good things about Carol, that you, Josh, would say good things about Carol, that Carol would do her best to look good. But let me ask the rest of you that have been students in her program and don't necessarily have anything invested in this. What about, should people take classes with her? What about her would you recommend? Like, what's the big deal about wellness classes with Carol Solomon? Yeah, Tammy.
Yeah, I actually have so much to say, so I'm going to give you the concise version.
Okay.
But yeah, I honestly would recommend that anyone take Carol's classes, anybody that's interested in coaching, not just the health and wellness coaching, because I think what she offers in terms of content alone is super helpful to anyone that's coaching regardless, because as holistic coaches, obviously there's going to be a health and wellness piece there. And she delivers this content in such a way that it's all such good stuff that you can use not only personally but with your clients. And even if it's stuff that, as having been a coach for a while, like we know about stress and what that, she just manages to get that message across about that stuff and how it applies to coaching and in our lives in such a way that it's not that it's new information, but it's like it hits another level, if that makes any sense. I also want to say that part of the big deal with taking classes with Carol and Josh as well is that thing about connection. I completely and totally agree with what everyone has said and all of what they've said. The connection piece is amazing. Carol creates by her demeanor and the way she comes across. She really connects with everyone in the class, and she creates a space and an environment where I think all of us, almost from the first class, began to just feel really relaxed and where we could open up to each other. And the other thing that I would say is the groups are key, but without her having already established this environment of connection with each other and a safe place where we can all really share. And that's when you get down to the nitty gritty and you really are able to take information in and learn it, is that the groups that were created, I'm still in my group. Our group meets every week.
Really?
Every week we still meet.
Are you serious?
Yes, and it's wonderful. In fact, I will just tell you, I have 3 new best friends through this group, and we are actually planning to get together. We're going to meet and do some stuff in DC in the next month or so. But yeah, I mean, it's that, yeah, I literally have 3 new best friends that came from this class and ultimately from the environment that she created in that class. And they are fantastic women, fantastic coaches. And yeah, I was kind of, I was joking about the basket weaving, but not really. I mean, if Carol taught anything, I think I would take it. I've taken 3 of her classes, and one of them I actually audited because I had taken the same class with Anne Marie McKelvey years ago, but I enjoyed her first wellness class that I took with Carol so much that I wanted to just be a part of the second one. And Ben, you allowed me to audit that class. So yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Tammy.
Sure.
That's impressive that you guys are still meeting after it's been over 6 months, I think,
Yeah.
since the class ended. So
Leslie had something to say, Ben.
Leslie, yes.
Well, I concur with everything Tammy said. It's really, I mean, for me, it was like the content, the groups, the structure, and this was before Josh was the TA. And so Josh and I had, I think, 4 classes together at the same time. And one of them was Carol's, and we were in the same group. And from that, like, I can say, kind of like Tammy's talking about her group, like Josh and I became fast friends through that. But with Carol, it's like a safe environment. There's kind of she's kind of a no nonsense instructor, which resonates with me, but there's an empathic piece of that as well. So it's an interesting mix, but I really liked that because it was straightforward. And this is not just set up for this group, but I don't know if you guys can see the book right back there, but that's from Carol's class. I actually had printed out a bunch of notes from my class so I can reference them back because there's so much rich practical components that I can weave in, and that I can't remember all of them. But, you know, if I'm working with a client, I think, gosh, what could this person use? Look through my notes and find something that I don't, you know, always use. Yeah, it was just really rich content, and I've taken 3 classes from Carol as well, and I would take another one, but I've already taken foundation. So yeah, it was just a joy to be a part of that. And I keep thinking about like the first class that I took, and we had a great group of people, and I haven't connected with them in a long time, but I keep thinking I really want to reach out to them. And Tammy, you've inspired me to kind of do that and see if I can get something going with them. So,
Or get in Tammy's group. Emma, maybe that's what you should do.
yeah.
Greta, I don't know if you had a chance to share, but I was interested in what impact has the class had on you?
Oh, it's had a great impact. And I want to add that I believe Leslie and I were in one of Carol's classes together. And we had a group that continued to meet for 4 or 5 months as well until we all got involved in so many other classes. It's impacted me. You know, I was a teacher before for many years, involved in education before I got into Chinese medicine. And so I looked at the class a little bit from the eyes of a teacher trainer, because that's part of what I used to do. And I think the quality of, you know, the content that Carol brings, it's well organized, it's really rich, it's very diverse, and the types of resource materials that she shares. And she brings in her own experience. There's a wonderful sense of levity and laughter in the class, as well as seriousness. So I think one of the greatest things I've taken from the class is really Carol as a role model, and just modeling in a wonderful way that how to integrate all of these different aspects of ourselves and kind of bring it to the table and coaching in a very succinct and concise sort of way.
Now, I may be wrong on this, but I get the impression that Carol is Dean Martin and Josh is Jerry Lewis, and Josh tells the jokes and Carol laughs. Is that fair, or does Carol crack jokes as well?
I think you were probably fair in that assessment. Carol can crack a good joke, but it's hard to top Josh.
Although I have heard her give it right back to him. So that's a lot of fun to watch that.
Yeah, it's better than my jokes is when Carol can whack one right back at me.
Right.
It's good.
And she does it with a straight face.
She does. That's what you get as an MCC. You can really serve some good old jokes right back at someone.
Okay, well, Carol, as we end up, let me just ask you, if you were speaking to people that are on the borderline or considering joining you in one of your wellness classes, what would you have to say to them, and what could you promise them that you will do your best to deliver for that class?
Well, I just think that wellness, health and wellness bleed over into every area of our lives, that coaching is at its core wellness oriented. No matter what you're focusing on, you'll never perform at your best unless health and wellness are priorities. And it's always my commitment to myself and to my students that, I mean, my goal is to provide really powerful, innovative content and deliver it in a powerful way. And the small groups that people are talking about is where, you know, people divide up into small groups and meet outside of class. And a lot of people have said that that's a really meaningful part of the whole class experience. So I think that it would be worthwhile for anyone to take these classes and that you would have a good experience. These guys are trying to make me cry again. I think we have the best students in Mentor Coach. And I just really appreciate all the kind words.
You know, I think here's the other important thing that anyone who's watching should know is that everybody on this call has, the last class I took was over 6+ months ago. And it just took one email from Carol to say, hey, would you mind coming on so other students or other potential students could hear about your experience? And people from around the country, and I mean, it's 9 p.m. here in Dubai, really dropped everything to be able and rearrange clients and schedules and doctor's appointments to be able to come on this Zoom and come to be able to share their experience with what it's like taking this class. And I can't think of a better testimonial than people rearranging their schedules to provide insight to what their experience was for other people so they can experience it as well. And I think that is proof in and of itself of how powerful these classes are. They are really phenomenal and, you know, and funny, right? I'll add that part. They're fun and funny and it really is, every time we end a class, it's really, really bittersweet. But the connection is real, and people continue to have these really strong emotional connections to one another, you know, months and years after. And as you can see, it just continues to happen again and again. And that's the magic of taking a class with Carol.
Okay, and Carol, before we leave, let me just say, if someone on the call would like to get in touch with you and either about coaching or about these classes on wellness, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Probably just email. You could use carol@carolsolomon.com. Or you could go to my website, carolsolomon.com, and connect with me through that.
Yeah, Carol is very easy to reach, carol@carolsolomon.com. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for showing up in the middle of the week, and thanks for a great call. And I look forward to meeting you in person down the road. And so everybody have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody.